Good morning, YouTuber subscribers and friends and alike. It's Grant coming at you from the Miles City Walmart. I spotted this morning on my way back from church. And I also posted it on Facebook, but I just wanted to show the van drilling community out there that there's one way to get across country. If you don't want to rent a U-Haul trailer, it's probably illegal as hell. I don't know, I can probably get away with it in Montana. But it is what it is. I'm coming at you from the Miles City Walmart and on November 22nd, 2015. It's about 24 hours from when I turn 33 tomorrow on the 23rd. I'm born somewhere between 12:30 and 1 o'clock, if I remember right, what my mom said. And I went to the Thanksgiving service this morning at Grace Bible Church here in Miles City, Montana. And they said that there's a lot of stuff to be thankful for. Of course, it was a Thanksgiving sermon, so that's what it was all about. But it did kind of leave the eyeball, or leave me thinking about it anyway. This right here that I'm showing you is Vic, my coworker's RV. He lives stationary right there with him and his wife in the Walmart parking lot, and they both work here. And they work 6 months out of the year, and then they go down to Arizona. But they do it opposite of what normal people would do because they have their kids in Arizona. So they stay down in Arizona when it's hot, and they're up here in Miles City when it's cold. And they live in the extremes, which is really weird. Normally, they would be a snowbird, but technically they're not a snowbird. They're like a bird that likes torturous weather. But anyway, getting back on subject, there are a lot of things in this world to be thankful for. He mentioned the simple things in life, and yeah, that's very true. I mean, I'm thankful for the food in my stomach. I'm thankful for the shelter over my head in this cold weather up here. I'm thankful for the new wheels that I'm sitting in right now. It's a 93 Buick Skylark. Ugly kind of car, but I went for the ride more than for the car this time, and something gave me the feeling, good Lord above, or who knows what, gave me the feeling that said that this is your ride, this is your deal, take it, snatch it while you can. It'll work for an in-town, get-around car for 4 months until you can fix up a minivan or something and get on the road this summer, possibly. I'm also thankful for the clothing on my back, the little clothing I was able to save from the van and when I'm able to shop for in the future here. I'm thankful that I was able to pay last month's rent at the apartment and part of the deposit, pay for all of this car and the plate and insurance and stuff like that during this month. Thankful for every breath I take, really. My health could be worse. I've seen people around here on crutches. I've seen people, that are mentally messed up a little bit in their head and everything, and it constantly reminds me that, things could always be worse. I get tired of hanging out with negative people and complaining people, and I do it a lot myself, so I'm trying to stay positive. So I'm giving a shout out to Roman Atwood Vlogs, 15 minutes or 10 minutes of positivity in their vlogs. Roman makes, who knows, between his Smile More store and the YouTube, I think he said at one time it's like $4,000 a month, give or take, and he's getting blessings left and right, and that's because he's putting out positivity in this world. And people like watching positivity once they get into it. People are made from caveman days to be negative because you watch for the negative, because negative, could possibly kill you back in the day in the caveman world, so we're geared to be negative and not so geared to be positive, so it's hard to pick out the positive things that happened in your daily life. I used to complain last week about not that having to walk around everywhere and depend on people for rides. Well, the thing is, I have the health to be able to walk around everywhere that I didn't notice to be thankful for. And those dependable rides were pretty dependable, and they didn't have to be there for me for free. On top of it, I didn't have to pay anybody gas yet. Anyway, we'll see how that goes. But so, just friends and family come around to do that. Those are things right there that I'd be thankful for that I didn't even notice last time. So this video is just about being thankful and Thanksgiving and the new updates on the car. It's kind of an ugly car. I have my handicap sticker up. For those of you who ask about the handicap sticker, that came from my dad and having to drive him around. And then when I turned in the plates for his car and pickup and turned in these markers to the courthouse, the woman at the courthouse said you can just keep that until 2017 when it's expired. It's kind of she knew my dad, but that's kind of nice, way to park up front at Walmart or places that are really busy. I don't use it that often, but usually when I'm packing groceries or lots of groceries, it would take the time to, technically take up a handicap spot to do it. the rest of the time it tends to, if you leave it on the marker, it tends to leave thieves and everything else will feel too sorry to mess with your car if they see a handicap sticker on there, and then move on to the next guy's car and so on. So that's why I leave it up. Not to be deceptive or anything, it's just, it helps to have it. But that will answer your question on that. This is kind of an ugly car in brown interior, white exterior with little wings on it. I'll show you, but the wind will probably be pretty loud, so I apologize ahead of time for the wind. And here we go. Yeah. I don't really like the wing deal that they do in the back of the car there. On these type of cars, that's the main thing I don't like about it and how ugly it is. Montana gives you a fake sticker for 40 days that anybody could really print up and put on your license plate for 40 days and get away with, which is interesting. Probably bad if you got caught doing it, but she's in a pretty good shape. Been sitting for a while, so I have to work on the doors and the windows. They got dirt in them, like they left the windows open while they're up in their oil fields or something. They got lots of dirt in the car. I gotta detail the car out, shampoo, vac it someday, and take the door panels off and take a $10 can of forced air and spray out everything, and then the locks and the windows will work better. The locks work, but you have to fish around with them, and then the windows are off the track probably because of dirt. And I had a friend of mine say that he had a Skylark and it did the same thing in terms of the dirt. And I don't like the front little wavy fender thing you got going on there either. Kind of an all-out ugly car. I need tires, they're bald, so about $400 I'll have tires someday on a different check. But for now it'll work as a good get around in town car. I may keep it, or I may end up using it for the $500 car challenge on YouTube. Or the video and take it to California and see if I can blow it up later on after I get a better ride. But I may end up keeping it because of how good a shape it is. It's only 90,000 miles, 93 built Skylark, and I paid $500 for it. They had an issue with what seemed like the transmission slipping in second gear, but it turned out to be a $60 airflow sensor in the front because everything is dirty in the front, so I gotta clean that out. But Jack's, where I bought it from, cleaned that up and put the sensor in and then said I'm good to go. And the deal about that is I showed up 10 minutes after the previous owner showed up to get her new car. So Jax didn't even have the time to go through this car before I test drove it. And therefore I ended up with a deal out of the deal. I think they probably could have got a little more money out of it to fix stuff had they had the time to do so. And then a co-worker of mine that works right here at Walmart, his sister-in-law is the previous owner who owned the car. And so he gave me a bunch of information, like they just got a brake job, which is why the brakes are pretty sensitive on here. $200 brake job, and they were going to keep it except for what they thought was the transmission slipping. Turned out to be a sensor. But they didn't go and get it looked at. They just decided, or she decided she wanted a different car after the window lock problem and the transmission starting to slip. And then your ignition down underneath here looks like somebody broke into it, but in truth it's just dirty in there too. And Jax took and cleaned it out and it worked fine. So I have a good working $500 car, a little bit of knickknacks. Cosmetically it looks pretty decent. It just has the windows and locks. In the front portion don't work very well. The back portion rolls down fine, because I'm pretty sure it never was rolled down in the oil fields and didn't get dirt in it or nothing. And the locks and everything back there work fine on the electric thing, but the electric locks up here don't, and everything else, because there's dirt in that panel somewhere. I need to take that off and take that out. Clean her up, put the windows on the tracks, and she'll work fine. So I think I made out with a pretty good ride. We'll see in the future here. Up front looks pretty dirty. The fan belts look pretty good, but they're making a funky noise, but that could be because of the dirt. Gotta get everything cleaned up up front, professionally cleaned up, and then get everything serviced, get transmission flushed and everything, because this car also had sitting there for months on end, not being used because of the gas tank. When I went to go first open the gas tank lid, it was really hard to do, which that happens when the car sits there for months and the gas fumes build up in there from not being released every now and then when somebody has to fill up the tank. So she sat for a while, but she's got 90,000 miles. She drives fine. I went down to Forsyth, which is 45 miles kind of southwest of here on Interstate 94, and then I went over to Baker last night, which is an hour east and an hour back, and she drives fine. The gas is fine and everything. I got myself a pretty good car, no dents in the windshield or nothing. So that is what I'm highly thankful for. This video is going to be pretty long. I just wanted to point out the fact that to be thankful for everything that happens in your life. I'm I'm thankful for the amount of friends I'm able to hang out with around here. In terms of the relationship that I came up here for, that's going to be a very long road. She's pretty depressed and negative lately, and she has a lot of reasons to be depressed and negative. But the one thing I have learned in my past is if you hang around with people who are negative and depressed all the time and you want to be happy and positive, one of two things is going to happen. Either your happy and positiveness is finally going to get to them and they're going to get better and life overall will be better, or the other thing will happen, which misery loves company. And she was starting to make me feel depressed and unhappy with my life and looking at everything negative, and I don't want to be around people that are like that. If she comes around, sees all the positive in her life, how everything could be worse and isn't, and so on and so forth, and I don't know, just magically wakes up one day happier, then that could work out. Or if she's willing to slowly get happier as we go, it could work out. But for right now, I'm gonna drop the amount of times that I text her, maybe down to like once a week or something, just to see what she does, how she's doing each week, and not hang out with her very much. Maybe take her out to eat every now and then on payday, something every other week, enough to let her know that I'm still around. But I'm gonna explain it to her also that I just don't want to be with somebody that's negative and depressing. It'll bring me down. And it has been started to bring me down to the point where I didn't want to eat anymore, didn't want to sleep anymore. And I have feelings for that woman on top of it, and it's just not a good thing to get into. I'd rather be positive. So I'm gonna avoid that for a while. Maybe by New Year's or something, things will get better. But for now, I'm thankful for everything that I do have. I'm thankful for the wheels I have, for the house over my head in this cold weather. I'm thankful for the clothing on my back, for the food in my stomach, for the love of friends and family, for the ability to get up and go to work. I got a pretty decent job every day. They're going to switch me to that other job here eventually. I got an offer for truck unloader, which pays $13.90 an hour versus my $12.40 an hour that they still haven't. They didn't start me out at 13, like they said they would, but it would push me up to $13.90 an hour and better hours. Go from 2 o'clock in the afternoon to about midnight, 9.5 hour shift, give or take, with your lunch in there. 4 days a week, and then have 3 days in a row off. That's what I'm trying to push for. But because of it being Thanksgiving and Black Friday next week, or this week, I guess, I'm stuck working overnights through this week until they switch it, because they don't want to switch people last second and try to train you on the same time, and they have their big time sales and stuff going on. So I'm gonna work through Thanksgiving and Black Friday of this week. I get paid time and a half on Thanksgiving Day, and I believe I get paid again time and a half on Black Friday for working it, and they want everybody to work those days. And then I'm off that following Saturday when they reset all the sales for Christmas. I found out the other day that I do get a discount. It's on December 2nd or something, and then I get my discount in 90 days, so you have to work here for 3 months and you finally get the employee discount card. I was under the impression it took 6 months, but that's because I slept through half of the orientation that day. But the lack of caffeine that I had, I'm happy to report that I do have a little bit of caffeine at home, and I saved enough money to have caffeine overnight, so I'm not so grumpy as I go to work, and that makes one hell of a difference. This is one hell of a long-ass video. It's getting to about 15 minutes, is more than I really want to do, because now I got to go find an uploading source around here on a Sunday, so it'll probably be tomorrow morning on my birthday. I'll be sitting at the library or somewhere uploading this off my touchpad, which that's another thing. I broke my phone a couple days ago in front of the pop machine. I took the case off to get to the money that was behind my phone, and the phone fell down on the ground and it busted the screen. The screen itself's not broke, but the wire that connects to the screen is broke. But because I live in Hillbilly Town, I'll probably have to go to Billings or somewhere to get it fixed. In the meantime, I'm going to try to use a friend's phone that's only 3G instead of 4G. But in reality, that might be good in terms of not using as much data up. However, now I'm making videos on my touchpad, which doesn't have as great a video quality, because the even cheaper phone that I have for 3G has even less video quality than the touchpad. But I'll make things work for a while. This next paycheck will be rent, part of the deposit again on the apartment till I finally get it paid off, and probably a phone, switching to Straight Talk. But for right now, I'm going to try to find a Verizon wireless phone that I can use for the next 2 weeks, to possibly a month, so that I can use up the $65 that I just paid on Verizon the day before I broke my phone. which figures. I should have not put as much money into data. I should have waited till I ran out of data and then put more money on it, but I figured I'd be broke by then. But I'm getting by pretty well. I have a big old 18-pound turkey or something at home in my fridge that I'm going to have a lot of turkey sandwiches from, even though I hate turkey around this time of year. We have enough to make a different turkey and all the trimmings and stuff right across the hall for Thanksgiving and turkey sandwiches, and then Travis and I will split my turkey again later on, so basically all this entire next month we'll be eating lots and lots of turkey. Different kinds of ways to do it with barbecue sauce and everything. We're going to try to mix it all up so it doesn't taste like turkey every single day of the week. But we'll make it happen, and I also found a deal on bologna and cheese from Walmart, so I've got basic food covered, and then I go out to eat with different friends every now and then when they cook for me, and so on and so forth. So I'm thankful for living here in Miles City, even though the colder weather sucks. But so far, we're into my birthday and still haven't had much in the way of snow. We had snow for like 10 minutes the other day, and then it melted off, so thankful to God for that. Like and subscribe, leave comments, and we'll catch you on the flip. Peace.